Hi, I'm Bill DiGiulio. In our previous keyboard video, you may remember we discussed how to find major scales, and I outlined how to play the chords based on three different scales, the scales being C, F, and G. Now I'd like to continue that today and show you how to build four more scales, and we're going to play the chords based on those scales. So this is just a natural continuation of the previous video. So congratulations if you've gotten this far. So let's take the next step, and again we're going to follow the same pattern that we learned in the very first video. The formula for the major scale, keep in mind again, is whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. So let's apply this to some new scales. Let's start on D, for example. Okay, so here's D. Let's follow the pattern. Whole, whole, excuse me, half, whole, 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 half. Okay, I'll do that one more time, just on the first one. Starting on D, whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. So notice this major scale, starting on D, requires us to use two black keys. Okay, now let's talk about the spelling. D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. Notice again, we can't use flats because that would give us duplication of letters. We can't say G flat G. So this scale, in the proper spelling, requires the use of sharps. And it required, notice, the use of two sharps, F sharp and C sharp. Okay, so this would be the scale of D major. Now let's follow our pattern when we talked about the chords in the key. Let's follow the same pattern and see what chords we get. So again, we're going to take the first, third, and fifth notes of the scale, and we're going to just follow that pattern right up using only notes of the scale. Therefore, F sharp and C sharp have to be used anytime they come up. Okay, let's do it and see what we come up with. D major, E minor, F sharp minor, G major, A major, B minor, C sharp diminished, D major. Okay, and one little naming convention I want to mention, that when we give a letter name to a chord, if I just say a D chord, that assumes it to be major. So I don't necessarily have to say D major every time. It's okay to say that, but in common parlance, we usually call chords, for example, D, E minor, G, F sharp minor. So we have to use the minor, of course, when we're playing a minor triad. But just saying the letter name assumes major. So I'll do that for the rest of this video, actually. All right, so that's the key and the scale of D major. Now let's start on another note and see what happens. Let's start on this one, a black key. Now, for the sake of easier in spelling for right now, let's call this B flat. Like I said, we can call it either A sharp or B flat, but let's call it B flat for now. And let's see what we end up with. So this will be a B flat major scale. B flat, whole, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B. flat. Now notice this major scale required, again, 2 black keys, but in this case, we're naming them flats. Okay, I'll spell it one more time. E flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B flat. And again, let's build the chords based on that scale. B flat major, of course, C minor, D minor, E flat, F, G minor, A diminished, B flat. And remember our pattern. The first, fourth, and fifth chords are major. The 2, 3, and 6 are minor, and the 7th is diminished. So we've done 5 keys already, and that carries through to all of those, and it'll continue to carry through the rest of them as we go in through those. All right, so that's 2 more new keys. Let's keep going. Let's do 2 more in this lesson. Now let's start on the note A, for example. Let's see what we end up with. Whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Now notice that key required 3 black keys to make a major scale pattern. And in this case, we're going to have to name them sharps. So let's do the spelling. A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. So notice this key requires 3 sharps, F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. Okay, let's play the triads. A, B minor, C sharp minor, D, E, a re major, F sharp minor, G sharp diminished, A major, or A. So that would be the chords based on the A major scale, or the chords in the key of A major. Now let's do one more. Let's start on the note E flat and see what we get. So again, the pattern: whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. So notice this scale required also 3 black keys. Here's the spelling. So we're using flats, of course, because we started on E. Let's call this E flat. I'll show you why in a second. It could be D sharp technically, but let's use E flat for ease of spelling in this case. E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D, E flat. That's our spelling. Now let's play the triads in this key. E flat, or E flat major, F minor, G minor, A flat, B flat, C minor, D diminished, E flat. Now notice it gets a little trickier as we add more sharps and flats, but the pattern still remains. We're just going up the scale using every other note and following the pattern of sharps and flats however they occur in the scale. All right, so let's do one quick review of the 4 new scales. Okay, D major, 2 sharps, F sharp, and C sharp. Scale, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. Chords in the key, D, E minor, F sharp minor, G, A, B minor, C sharp diminished, D. Now let's do the scale B flat. Notes in the B flat scale: B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B flat. Chords in the key: B flat, C minor, D minor, E flat, F, G minor, A diminished, B flat. Okay. Next one, key of A. Starting on A, scale A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. Chords in the key of A, or based on the A scale: A, B minor, C sharp minor, D, E, F sharp minor, G sharp diminished, A. And finally, let's do our fourth scale, which is based on E flat. Notes in the scale: E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D, E flat. Chords in the key: E flat, F minor, G minor, A flat, B flat, C minor, D diminished, E flat. So for the more adventurous, those are 4 new keys. Now notice it is a little more challenging when we get up into thinking about more sharps and flats in each key. But if you approach these just one at a time, just like you did with the first 3, I'm sure those came relatively those came relatively easy. So by taking these next 4 scales one at a time and learning them slowly and playing both the scales slowly and observing the key pattern and playing the chords in the key and observing the pattern, by playing them over and over, up and down, eventually you start to lock in. It will take a little time, but as you'll see in the next lesson, that will give us a lot of musical firepower that I'm going to show you how to start using in the next lesson. And that we can apply everything we've done so far into doing the next step, which is understanding why we're going through all this. I'll explain that more in the next video. Again, I will include a PDF that will outline all the notes in these chords and scales, just so you can review them and have a hard copy of it while you learn them. And then, of course, once you have them memorized, you can throw away the hard copy and just or save it for reference. Okay. So again, thanks for going this far. A little more to go, but if you've made it this far, again, congratulations. And if you have any questions, problems, issues, or suggestions, please leave them in the comments section below. Again, thanks for watching. Have a great day.